Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Happy evening to each and every one of you. I hope you had a great Saturday and you're taking good care of yourself. The corona crisis is not over. We need to be very, very careful. Make sure that you sanitize your hands, you wear your mask, and keep social distance whenever you step out. Very important that we don't let our guards down, and we have to fight this battle together, right? And as they say, we are in it together, right? So on that count, thank you. And while we are a few minutes behind schedule to start, about 8 minutes to start, one of my first requests to each one of you is please be punctual. Make sure that you attend the session, you are there in time, because it's important to honor time, right? So any which ways, thank you for taking time out on a Saturday evening. This, I think, so will be the last series, or the last session rather, in the series on how do we build meaningful relationships. And we were talking about trust for the last two Saturdays, or the last two sessions rather. We have been talking about trust. So we will continue on that series. And today I'm going to talk about the ABCD of trust. Before that, let me start with a small video that I want to play for each one of you. So do let me know if you're able to see my presentation. Are you able to see this video? Let me also log in from my phone.
Yes.
Okay, great. Is it audible also? Please confirm.
Yes.
Okay, great, right? So let's watch this video, and that should set the context in terms of what we want to learn in the time that we have today. So this has been one of my favorite videos, and whenever I have gone through a difficult time in my life, when you feel disappointed, this video has always been there by my side. And so for all who are hearing to us live, and for those who will listen to this recording, put your trust in God, because his love is unfailing. He never fails. And when we put our trust in him, we never would get disappointed. People will cheat us, they lie, they disappoint us. But rather than putting our trust in people, we should be putting our trust in God. And the reason I start today's session with this is because you look around, people put their trust on technology. People put their trust on money. People put their trust on materialistic things. People put their trust on people, on their contacts, their network. All that is fine, but that is not going to help you in difficult times. It is the trust in the Lord that is going to help us in life. That is what has been my life, and the testimony of my life is always put trust in him, have faith in him, and he will never fail you, right? So you may want to make a note of that, and some points that were there in the video, you may want to think about it. Am I leaning on my own understanding? Many people are leaning on their own understanding. They think that I know it all, right? And yes, you know a few things, but there can be no one who knows it all, right? So it's important that we put our trust in him in all the decisions of life that we make, and especially to young boys and girls on the call. It is important that at the critical age and stage of your life, you put your trust in him, and he will never ever fail you, right? So let's move forward and understand the
Maybe,
A, B. Yes, sir.
maybe what you discuss is absolutely right. But I think first we have to trust ourselves. If we do not trust ourselves, then we cannot trust anybody in the world. That I
Right. So I would slightly change the wording, sir. I would say I put trust in him. I will put my trust in God, because he gives me the strength to do the things that I can do, because the strength that I have to do the things comes from him. That builds in self-belief. So that self-belief will help me get the job done, right? So my trust is in him. He is the provider. He is the creator. He is the originator. He is the source. So if I have got certain skills, I don't deserve those skills. It is his grace. It is, and even the scriptures say that God gives us the strength and the ability to earn money, to do well in life. So whatever we do, it is his strength. So I trust in him, and then I will sharpen my skills that he has given me. I will work on those skills, sharpening the saw, as Stephen Covey in the book Seven Habits says. The seventh habit is sharpening the saw. I'll work on those skills, and then that builds confidence. It builds self-belief. It is. I'm not going to doubt myself. So we never should doubt ourselves. We should have faith in our abilities. And while we have faith in our abilities to complete the work that has been assigned to us, but the trust is in him.
maybe
That's
I fully agree with you. Yeah, right.
thank you, thank you, husband, wife. And if time permits, towards the end, you may want to remind me to tell you the difference between trust and faith. Not many people understand the difference between trust and faith. I'll try to explain it to you in a very simple manner, maybe towards the end. Right? So trust in God is the first step in whatever we do. Okay, so let's move on to the ABCD of trust. Any idea what could be the ABCD of trust?
A can be ability to
Very
believe
nice.
that someone will perform something like that.
Correct. Very good, Nikhil. Thank you for
Able,
that answer. Right. So A is able. Okay. What is B?
believable,
Correct. What is C?
connected,
Correct. And what is D?
dependable.
Fantastic. I'm so happy that some of you are making notes. And even while we are a very small group, we are about 6-7 of us on the call. I have never been a person who thinks that numbers should be big. Numbers make a difference. Yes, numbers are good to have, but I believe a few people who are passionate are any day better than many people who are only interested. I'll repeat. A few people who are passionate to learn a few people who are passionate to make a difference are any day better than a very large number of people who are merely interested, right? So thank you for the commitment that you have to learn. Thank you for the passion that you have to learn. And let's go deeper into the A, B, C, D. So let's pick up the first word, A. Do people consider as competent and credible? On that count, what is your understanding of the word competent? Or I am competent, I have the competency to do something. So any idea what is the meaning of the word competency or competent? Share your thoughts.
Competence means what task is before you, and are you able to perform it? Means skill wise,
Okay.
are you competent or not?
Correct.
That
Correct.
will be the
Good.
competence.
Yes. So, but that is, thank you, Nikhil, for that answer. But that is the lag indicator. It is after the effect. We are talking about the lead indicator. We are talking about prefactor, right? So when we talk about whether I'm able to perform the task or not, so do I have the competency? So competency will have three parts to it. If competency were to be a tabletop, it stands on three legs. What are the three legs on which competency stands? Number one, I need to have the knowledge to do it. The what of it, very important. Now, knowledge alone does not suffice. What I need to have the second element is the skill, the how to do it. So the knowledge is the what part, skill is the how part. And the third is attitude. It is defined slightly differently than the attitude as a word that we understand. It is my willingness to do all that I can possibly do.
Okay,
It is also defined as the demonstrated behavior. And look around, you will find so many people who have got a lot of knowledge, who are fantastically skilled, but they don't perform to their potential. They are not willing to stretch. They are not willing to come out of their comfort zone. Right. So the third element is very, very important, that I have the willingness, I have the attitude to do all that I can do, and do it on a daily basis. It's not do it for a few days. It's not days, it is daily. So do I have the competency? Am I competent? Very important. So as young boys and girls, one of my suggestion to you is prepare for future skills while you are still not in that role. So let me help you understand. So in an organization, okay, let me put it in different words. So let's say Nikhil. I'm just taking your name. Nikhil, can I take your name?
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. So Nikhil, let us say, is starting his professional journey this year as an example. So he will work for around 35-40 years. That's the normal working lifetime of an individual, normally 35 to 40 years. So in this period of 35 to 40 years, how many promotions do you think Nikhil can get? So if this is his working life, so he starts here and he finishes here. So this is his working life of 35 to 40 years. How many promotions do you think Nikhil can get?
Are you saying for the say? I mean, like notional or with
Actual
promotions?
promotions.
Actual promotions. I mean, there are 4 layers you have taught us.
Correct.
So one can
Right.
reach
So,
the 4th level.
correct. So you're right. Patel sir is right. But for the others, let's say Nikhil and others, what are those 4 levels that sir is talking about? Let's talk about it. Any idea? Do you know what those 4 levels are? No worries. So Pay attention and listen. This might be important for your tomorrow, may not be very important for your today. So we all start at the base, and I'm talking about roles that we do. Always be fascinated by roles. Don't get attracted to designations. So the role that we start our careers is called an individual contributor. So for example, I am responsible for delivering whatever has been asked of me. So my key result areas, I need to deliver, and I need to deliver it myself. I don't have a team that delivers it for me. So my performance is dependent upon my inputs. So that is individual contributor. So individually, I'm contributing. Let me give you a sporting example. Let's say cricket. You think of Sachin Tendulkar, or you think of Rahul Dravid, or you think of any other cricketer that you may like. So why was Sachin selected? Why was Rahul selected in the Indian cricket team? What was he selected for? Let me put it slightly differently. What was he selected for?
Because of their batting.
Correct. So thank you. Thank you for that answer. He was selected for scoring runs. Would you agree?
Yes.
Right. Now, so that's an individual contributor. So you select me to score runs, I score runs. So while I'm scoring runs, I'm an individual contributor. So in organizations, whatever role responsibility is given to me, I deliver it, and I deliver it on my own. That is an individual contributor. Very simple. Now, when I excel in scoring runs, when I excel in doing what is expected out of me, I get to the next level of promotion. I get my first promotion in life. I become a manager. I become a manager of people. Now, taking the same sporting example, the player is now the captain. Are you with me?
Yes.
Now, the captain's performance is just not his performance. The captain's performance is an aggregate of all the players that are there in the team. Now, if the team does well, the captain's record is good. If the team fails, the captain's record is not so great. So you are as good as your team. Would you agree?
Yes, we can say that.
Correct. Right. So thank you. Thank you for that. Right. So now my question is, we all strive to move to the next level. We all want the next level of promotion. But the skills that are required at this level are very different from the skills required at level 2. Would you agree with me?
Yes.
So what brought us here is not going to take us any further. So I need to build on my skills. So when should I build my skills? After I have reached here, or while I'm in transition?
In
What's your
transition.
answer? In transition. Correct. Fantastic. That's a good answer. So am I preparing for the future responsibilities that I'm aspiring for? Remember, when the opportunity presents itself, it is too late to prepare. Like this fantastic statement, when you sweat in practice, you will bleed less in war. So while I don't have that responsibility as yet, am I preparing? Am I building those competencies? Am I building those future skills? And there are lot many ways to do it. There's a concept called job shadowing. I can do job shadowing. Let us say I want to do what let us say Patel sir is doing. So I can request him, sir, will you allow me to job shadow you for a week? So I am kind of a fly on the wall, and I observe what he does for 1 week. And then I realize, this is not as easy as what I thought. So I'll need to build these skills. And then I can go one step further and ask him that, sir, would you coach me? Because for me to move to the next level, I need coaching, because it is a skill set issue. It is not a mindset issue. If it's a mindset issue, it needs counseling. So as long as I'm preparing, I'm building that trust, because then and then only will I get the responsibility. So what is the word responsibility mean to you? Any thoughts on this?
Accountability.
That is different. That is good word. Thank you for that answer. But that's very different. So we will talk we'll talk about accountability, but my question here is, what according to you is responsibility?
To ensure that execution has been done
That again is
either by
step
yourself or by your team.
Okay, great. Thank you, Nikhil. But that is step 2, 3, 4. But we are talking about step 0 and step 1. When would someone give you the task? So whenever you look at the word responsibility, look at it like this. Responsibility is the ability to respond. I'll repeat what I just said. Responsibility is the ability to respond. Respond to what? Respond to external triggers. In an organization right now, in the business world that we are operating, it's a volatile world, it's an uncertain world, it's a complex world, it's an ambiguous world. I need to respond to external challenges. Now, am I demonstrating the competency to be able to respond to external challenges? If yes, then the organization gives me the responsibility to take decisions. Now, when I take a decision, you will not win always. Some decisions will happen as you thought, some decisions will not happen. So when the decision that you took did not deliver the result, did not produce the effect that we thought would produce, am I owning up to that response? When I'm owning up to that response, that is called ownership. And when you combine responsibility and ownership, the two words together builds the word accountability. So I'm accountable to the organization. I'm accountable to deliver on what my organization is expecting from me. So the more I deliver, the more accountability I have, it builds credibility. I hope I'm making it very simple and you're able to understand. हमारा माटे भी अरबी बनाए देजो साहेब. Right? Anyways, sorry for that distraction, but Nikhil and others, are you getting it? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Right. So what is responsibility? My ability to respond. So while I'm still an individual contributor, I start preparing for this role. While I'm still an individual contributor, I start contributing as a manager of people. So remember this statement. You will rise as high as your level of incompetency. You can never go beyond your level of incompetency in any organization. So a person reaches to the height of his or her incompetency, and then you don't move forward in life because the organization will not trust you with those decisions that are so critical. So from a manager of people, you go to the third level or you get your second promotion and you become a manager of managers. Again, when do you start preparing for a manager of manager position? While you are appointed as a manager of manager or while you are in transition? What's your answer?
During transition.
That's transition. What are we doing? We are doing nothing. Look at the last 24 hours. Look at your last 24 hours. Am I preparing for the future? Am I working on future skills? If yes, then you will demonstrate the ability to respond to external stimulus, external challenges that the business world is going to throw at you, and no one is spared in that. Everyone has to go through that. So when you are preparing while you still don't have the position, it builds that confidence. And when that confidence is seen in your contribution while you are still not at that position, that is how trust is built, that yes, he can deliver. Yes, she can deliver. Think of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, one of my favorite leaders. So he was made captain in the year 2007. He was not the senior most player. Rahul Dravid was the captain of the Indian team when they were touring England, and he goes to the board and his management and says, this is too much for me. It is affecting my batting. So I want to relinquish this post. I want to give up this post, give it to someone else. And the management approached Sachin and he says, I have burned my fingers once. I don't want to do it, but I know someone who is competent to do this. I suggest you give the captaincy to Mahendra Singh Dhoni. That is how Dhoni became a captain. So while he was still a wicket keeper, while he was still an individual contributor, he was demonstrating his competency to be able to lead the team. That's how that trust was built. That is how the ability was seen. And because that ability was seen, the responsibility was given to him. But what is the mistake that most of us make? We only think about the role that has been given to me, the KRA that has been given to me. What do I have to deliver? That's good. But that you're only working for the day. I cannot be like a laborer. A laborer only works for the day. We need to work for the future.
Maybe Dhirubhai Ambani was always telling, we have to change our orbit.
That's
Suppose
right.
my position is manager and I am competent to work as a general manager, or I demonstrate my work as per general manager, then we'll get a success in life or promotion in life.
Absolutely agreed. So you need to constantly change your orbits. Thank you, Hasmukh Bhai, for that input. Right. So, is my organization seeing me as a person who's competent to do the role for the next level? If yes, then no one can stop you from growing. If no, no one can help you grow. Right? And from a manager of manager, you get your third promotion. What is the third promotion? You become a manager of business. Here you are responsible for revenues. Same question again. When do you start preparing for this role? When you get promoted or while you're in transition? What's your answer?
While in transition.
That's right. Now, I may want my organization to change my orbits, but before the organization changes the orbit, I need to be ready by changing the orbits before I get there. So this has to happen first, then that will happen. It cannot be the other way around. And the last promotion Nikhil can get in his 35 to 40 years of working is that he becomes a manager of enterprise. That means he becomes a member of a board. You become a part of the board of a big company. So when you talk about the ability part, when you talk about the competency part, I constantly need to be building my knowledge, my skills, and then have that attitude to demonstrate the willingness to take extra work. I should be what is called the Man Friday for my boss. Whenever there is a critical task to be given, whenever there is a dirty task to be given, my name should pop up in my manager's head that, okay, this should be given to this person because he is competent. And when I do those difficult tasks, when I lead the team through difficult waters, That is how the organization will build trust in you, and you and me will get the next level of growth. Otherwise, you and I will start at one point and finish at one point. Look at people around you. How many people actually move up in life? They start in one role and they pretty much finish in one role. For 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, for 30 years, they just do pretty much the same job. They did not change their orbits. They did not move from their comfort zone to their learning zone. Their performance was never equal to their potential. So that is the A, which builds trust. Very, very important, right? So let's move further, and let me
Maybe.
erase Jesus.
Maybe in our life, we are getting as per our ability. If we are not getting promotion, we have to first look into ourselves that we are not able. And top
Correct.
management is a CCTV camera. They are always looking on us.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So that's right. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. So it is like this, you know, to add to what Hasmukh Bhai said, am I a purifier or am I a polluter in the organization? So when you have team meetings, when you are with your team, are you always cribbing and complaining, or are you a person who always gives a solution? So over a period of time, people will figure you out that, you know, he's a troublemaker, and people will also figure you out that he's a solution provider. And guess what? Where is the maximum population? Which part? Troublemakers or solution providers? Where is the mass and where is the class? you know that answer, right? So it is for me to decide where I would want to be, right? So that is the A part. So let's go deeper into this. And so what I just spoke is building upon this word expertise. So are you working as a coach while you are still not at that position? Do you have that value expertise with you? And when would I be able to have that value expertise? When I am ready, when I am prepared. But not many of us prepare. And I've shared this earlier in some of our earlier sessions, that ask yourself, am I preparing or am I repairing? What is my mindset? Am I purpose driven or am I pleasure driven? Am I focusing upon pleasing results or am I focusing upon pleasing methods? Am I ready to do the tough and the difficult, or am I taking the path of least resistance? That is something for me to evaluate for myself. That is something for you to evaluate for yourself. No one can do it for us, right? So that's the first point that builds ability. Second point is the result. I deliver results. I drive continuous improvement. I focus upon performance. For those of you who are working, check what is the delta that you're creating in terms of improvement in the processes of your organization, also known as Kaizen. Am I contributing to make the processes better, more seamless, more agile? If someone were to tell me that, Anand, speak upon business processes and agility in business processes within your organization, I bet many of us will not be able to speak even for a minute. So when I am contributing while I'm still not having that role, I will build that trustworthiness, and then my name will be recommended as and when that opportunity arises. Like Dhoni's name was recommended. He was not in line to become the captain. Anil Kumble was there. Javakal Srinath was there. There were so many other senior cricketers, but he was someone who always provided those inputs for small incremental improvements in processes, and hence the results spoke for themselves. So first point, expertise. Second point, results. Third point, very important, effectiveness. What is effectiveness? Make a note of this. It is focusing upon doing the right things. What is efficiency? Efficiency is doing things right. So check for yourself, am I doing things right or am I doing the right things? I need to be focusing upon the right things, both in your personal life as well as in your professional life. And the fourth and the last point is, as someone who is demonstrating trustworthiness in his or her behavior, you also start inspiring people. And if your actions can inspire someone, you are a leader. You don't need a position to be a leader. Leadership is never a position. It is always a disposition. It is never a chair. It's a choice. It's influence. And what does it say? You are encouraging someone. You are motivating someone. You are looking to celebrate wins. Very important. Do we celebrate wins? Or do we become selfish? Do we become self-centered? Do we become egoistic? Do we become jealous? Right? Look at seeks inputs and listens to feedback, influences and inspires others to achieve stretched assignments. While I'm still an individual contributor, I am acting as that catalyst that builds performance. That is the A of ABCD. I wish someone taught me this when I was 20 something. I just wish someone had given me this input. But any which ways, if we were not fortunate enough to get this, we should ensure that all of you young boys and girls get this input, and hopefully you will apply it and then move onwards and upwards in your life. First point, A. What were the 4 points of A? Can anyone recollect? What were the 4 points of A?
Responsibility.
वो responsibility तो मैंने आपको अलग से समझाया. Responsibility मैंने आपको समझाया is my ability to respond. और उसमें मैंने आपको 4 लेवल्स बताए. ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में आपको ग्रोथ मिलेगा, उससे ज्यादा प्रमोशंस नहीं होते. डेजिग्नेशंस आपकी चेंज होती रहेगी. दैट्स अ डिफरेंट मैटर. सो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी गुड, थैंक यू फॉर रिमेम्बरिंग दैट. बट एबल के अंदर हमने 4 चीजें देखी जिससे हमारी एबिलिटी डेमोन्स्ट्रेट होती है एंड वो कॉम्पिटेंसी डेमोन्स्ट्रेट होती है, जिसकी वजह से मुझे काम मिलेगा बिकॉज my organization is trusting me, or whosoever is my stakeholder is trusting me. What were the 4 points?
The first one was the expertise.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you.
Expertise. You
Very
can
nice.
guide people or colleagues. The second one was the result, to
Thank you.
deliver the result.
Correct.
Next one is the effectiveness, means doing the right thing.
That's
And
right.
fourth one is the motivating people, inspire.
Correct. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you. So I'm confident at least one person out of a group of whatever number of people attend sessions, there is one person who is listening. So thank you, Nikhil, for making those notes. So we saw the first part, which is the ability part. Let's move to the next part. Ji sir.
Maybe I give my example.
Ji sir.
In Reliance Jamnagar, I was getting a promotion regularly.
Ji sir.
But one time I was dropped. Then I thought, I did not complain to anybody. I thought how to increase my ability and focused on doing the right things and how to bring the results. And next year I got the promotion.
Super.
Yeah, that
Super.
is, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Right. So building upon what Hasmukh Bhai just said, let me stop presenting this particular slide and let me share something else because this will be in line with what Hasmukh Bhai just said. Give me a second. Let me pull up another slide and think about this. Think about the input that Hasmukh Bhai gave all of us, and check this part as far as you as an individual is concerned. Let me share my screen and please confirm if you're able to see my screen,
Yes.
right? Can one of you, except for Hasmukh Bhai, may I request someone else to explain this particular slide? This is what Hasmukh Bhai just said.
Shivam can definitely do this.
Anyone, please explain.
Sir, it is showing a compound interest thing that 1% improvement daily
That's
for 365 days will bring us 137% overall improvement.
That's right. Thank you. It gives me considerable improvement.
One correction, Shivam. It is not 137, it is 37 times.
37 times.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Can I
So
say something?
yes, please.
So this is Harsh. So
Yes, sir.
I would say consistency is a lot more important here. Just like doing a small thing just once will not that much impact, but a small thing over a consistent period of time would be much more considerable.
No, my little Harsh has grown up. Fantastic, Harsh. Fantastic answer. Very nice. I'm so happy for that answer. Very nice. Very nice. I can see you growing up in front of my eyes. Very nice. Super.
Thank you,
Right.
sir.
So fantastic, Harsh. Very nice. Right. So consistency, and it is difficult. It is difficult because people get into that cocoon. People get into their comfort zones. Now, what Hasmukh Bhai is saying is this: small incremental improvements on a daily basis gives me tremendous results. So when you see that Virat Kohli hitting that awesome cover drive, it's not a fluke. He would have practiced it 10,000 times in the nets before he gets it right. And people who become performers are people who perform and it becomes a habit. They spot that ball, they imagine the length and the line of the ball in their mind, and it's that habit because they have practiced it so many times that it has become a habit. So it becomes a reflex action. So if I am demonstrating that I am improving upon my yesterday on a daily basis, will I get my next level of promotion? No one can stop me. So I'm building that trustworthiness. That is how you build trustworthiness in our behavior, right? So super answer, Harsh. I'm very happy to hear that answer from you. Super, very good. So let's move forward. Let me come back to my presentation and let me know if you are able to see my screen. आपको screen दिखाई दे रही है?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, right? So we looked at one part, which is the creditability, the competency. The second part is still left, which is creditability. So we looked at competency. We need to look at the word credible. So what is creditability? In the previous slide, if I can go to my previous slide, we had the word competency and we had this word creditability. So we looked at competency, we still have to understand creditability. So what is creditability that builds trust?
Walk the talk.
Fantastic, very good, thank you. Absolutely, right? So in other words, it is values in action. It is easy to talk is cheap. but I need to walk the talk, as sir is rightly saying. So as long as I'm walking the talk, you are building that trustworthiness about you. And once you are a trustworthy person, they will give you the responsibility, and that's how you move ahead in your life, both in your personal life and in your professional life. It's all about that relation. But you know what people say? ये boss का चमचा है ना इसलिए उसको promotion मिला. No, sorry. It's an organization. They need to deliver results. वहाँ पर charity नहीं हो रही है. So make a note of these two words, competency and my credibility, and I need to be focusing upon these two words on a regular basis, right? So let's move further and look at the next word. That next word is, what is the next word? On your screen, starting with B.
Believe.
That's right. So what does it say? It says, read this line.
Acts with integrity.
इसका मतलब क्या होता है?
We can say truthfulness.
उसका मतलब क्या होता है? Sorry to put you on a spot, but उसका मतलब क्या होता है?
That means whatever we are saying is more likely to be true.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you, Harsh, for that answer. So as long as I'm delivering what I have said, as long as my behavior is consistent with what I'm preaching, as long as I'm walking the talk, I am showing integrity, right? So some elements on that for us to understand is honesty. So what's the difference between the word honesty here and the word integrity here?
So maybe I would say honesty means saying what the truth is, and integrity would be sticking to my core values.
Good, very nice. Harsh, I need to come down to your place and give you a treat. Fantastic answer, very nice, right? So just to build upon what Harsh has said, it is, if honesty is saying what the truth is, integrity is behaving the way it is. Right, so it is just not knowing it, it is also acting on it. We know a lot of things, but we do not necessarily act on it. And here lies the difference between what is true and truth. Remember, we need to focus upon the truth, not just what is true, because what is true may or may not be the truth, right? So the truth is the right word, right? Focusing upon your values and always be fair in what you do. So in a relationship, are you bringing the right set of values? Is integrity a part of your value system? If integrity is a part of your value system, you will never gossip in life. If integrity is a part of your value system, you will never speak about someone. You will always go and talk to that person. And that unfortunately is not real in today's world. So I need to be living that life of integrity, and adding to that word fairness, if I can add a couple of more words to that, I also need to be firm. I cannot be shaky in my decisions when it comes to values and principles. When it comes to integrity, I cannot compromise. I need to be firm. Giving an example, two examples. If you watch this New Zealand versus England semifinals, if you not watch it on YouTube, and watch the last few overs of that chase. Now here was Daryl Mitchell, who was the non-striker, and Jimmy Neesham had hit the ball, and he wanted to run and take a single. But Mitchell denied that single, and that was a very important run because they were chasing and every run was crucial, and they were at the last few overs of the match. He denied that single. Why did he deny that single? Because he came in the way of the bowler. And he says, sorry, I came in the way of the bowler, and it would not be true. It will not be, true is the wrong word. It will not be a behavior which is consistent with my values if I run that run, because it is not behaving with integrity. And I was mightily impressed. He did not take that run.
Morally, it is justifiable.
Absolutely. But हम में से कितने लोग ऐसा करते हैं साहब?
Right.
It was fantastic. It was amazing. The stakes were very high, but while the stakes were high, he had that integrity in his mind that I will not do something which is morally incorrect. He could have justified it, saying it's a competitive match. It is about a World Cup finals. He could have had hundreds of justifications, but he said sorry. And if you look at his answer in the press conference, he says, I don't want to get into controversies. I was like, wow. That's why I watch sports. The only thing I watch on television is sports, because there's so much to learn from sports. Second example, there was this amazing cricketer from South Africa called Hashim Amla. Have you heard his name?
Yes.
Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Go and check out his record. He's as good as Virat Kohli in one days and in test. He was a fantastic player. All the matches that he played for South Africa, and he played a lot of matches for South Africa, none of the matches did he have the team's logo, the sponsor's logo on his t-shirt. Check it out, check out a Google image and see. He did not have the team's sponsor's logo on his team because the team's sponsor is a manufacturer of alcohol. He said, sorry, I will not have it on my t-shirt. And he took a 20% cut on every match that he played right through his career. You need to stand up and salute such people. 20% cut, not for one match, for every match that he played right through his career. That's integrity. And that is a lot of money, because they get a lot of money to play for their country every single match. He says, you don't pay me, but I'm not going to be flexible when it comes to values. I will stand firm. Third instance, 2019 50 over World Cup. England won that match. Check it out on YouTube. When the celebrations were happening on the podium, they opened bottles of champagne, and watch that video. As they opened the bottle of champagne, there were two cricketers who ran from that podium. Why? They said that we will not have alcohol even to touch our clothes. Wow. I get goosebumps. I get inspired. I said, wow, this is what our youth should stand for. Check it out. They could say, okay, I'm standing, but I'm not participating. Hashim Amla would have said, I'm just putting the logo on my t-shirt. I'm not drinking. That's how you build trust. That's how you build that relation that is unshakable. It is built on foundations which are absolutely rock solid, and you can't shake it. Are you with me? And you know what? No one is interested to learn and understand and listen to all these words. They would be busy on WhatsApp chat. They would be busy on Instagram story sharing, all doing all that nonsense. Good luck to them in the future. This is what matters. This is when the rubber meets the road. This is where what is called the moment of truth. That's how you build trust. Right. I wish I had more time to talk about it. And right. So let's look at the second word. So we looked at two words. We looked at the A part and we looked at the B part. Let's look at the C part. And what does it say? What is this word?
Connected.
Correct. So do you do this? Remember this statement, my friends, boys and girls. People don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. Reach out to people. Reach out. But you know what? People only reach out when they have work. Otherwise, no one calls. And once that person is gone to be with the Lord, then they will say, oh, he was or she was such a wonderful person. He was a gem of a person. She was a gem of a person. What's the sense in glorifying that person when you did not have the time to pick up the phone and even say hello to that person? Our founder chairman, Shri Dhirubhai, always used to say that be an arm around the shoulder leader. That's how we build relations. That's how the job is done. Connectedness, very, very important, and more so in today's time of while we have social distancing, let us not have emotional distancing. I'll repeat, while we have social distancing, let us not have emotional distancing, right? The act of benevolence. Do something for someone who can never pay you back. Like in winters, and Patel Sahab knows about it, we distribute blankets to families that sleep on the pavements. A bag of 5 kilos of rice, a bag of 5 kilos of dal, some masks, and a bottle of sanitizer. Doesn't cost much. When you go to a McDonald's next time, go to wherever you go, you will see those small boys selling balloons. Buy a burger for him or her. Buy a pizza for him or her. Then see the spark in that person's eyes. He would sleep so peacefully that day. Not because of that pizza, not because of that burger, but because someone thought about him or her. We are becoming so selfish. In today's age and time, people don't give side for an ambulance also. Check out how we behave on the roads. You have an ambulance, which is, the siren is on. People don't seem to be caring enough to allow the ambulance to move forward. I wish and pray that God remove their heart of stone and give them a heart of flesh. We need to have a heart of flesh, not have a heart which is like a stone, no emotions. Benevolence is something that will build trust. We have spoken enough of on the communication. I've said this before, that as oxygen is to living, communication is to relationships. Are we doing more of it? We need to be doing more of it, and that helps us build rapport. That relation, that connectedness. Remember this statement: everyone communicates, but only a few are able to connect. I'll repeat what I just said. Everyone communicates, but only a few are able to connect. Be that connector, and you will reap rewards. If not on this earth, rewards will be stored for you up in heaven. So we looked at the A part, the B part, the C part, and the last is dependable. So are you Mr. Rahul
Maybe-
Dravid? Yes, sir.
ये कनेक्टेड का yesterday I had experience. एक ओकेजन में कल लंच था, लंच पूरा होने के बाद जो 2 ओल्ड लेडी जो बर्तन साफ कर रही थी ना, उसको जस्ट मैंने पूछा कि आपने खाना खाया, तो उसका बॉडी में जो स्माइल था और एक्सप्रेशन था, सिंपल 2 वर्ड्स, खाना खाया कि नहीं, इतना ही पूछा, तो इतना उसको अच्छा लगा कि आई कैन नॉट describe in words.
That's right. That's right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Ashok bhai. That is what is benevolence. What he just explained and shared with us is an act of benevolence. But we are so self-centered, we don't even notice someone is working so hard. The world needs to have more such people who show benevolence, because we are all going through tough times. Thank you, Hasmukh bhai, for sharing that. And the last word is dependable. So I was saying that, are you Mr. Rahul Dravid? Are you the wall for your family? Or are you like, a pack of cards, they just crumble? So my creditability, when done on a consistent basis, builds by dependability, something that Harsh so beautifully explained, right? So dependability is an offshoot, is a byproduct of creditability and reliability. We have seen this. I have spoken about that. Accountability. What was that accountability? The coming together of responsibility and ownership. That is what gives birth to accountability. And I need to be responsive. Responsibility is one, and responsive to the needs of others, right? So we need to be responsive towards the needs of others in whatever little capacity. Please do something for others. Reach out, not to gossip, but to connect. Very, very important, right? So those are the ABCD that we saw as far as the trust is concerned, as far as the elements of trust is concerned. And the last thing that I want to share with you is something very deep and something very powerful. Can one of you explain what this slide means?
That no one else can harm us more than ourselves.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Ashish, for that. And our mindset,
Yeah.
our selfishness, our ego, our self-centeredness, our self-orientation, always thinking what is in it for me. Remember that equation that I shared with you, that trust is equal to C plus H plus R plus I divided by S. So let's be people who have S tending to be 0, so that the trust becomes something which is infinite. Right? So that's what I wanted to share as far as the trust is concerned. We looked at so many beautiful things, and you may say that, Anand, thank you for this. I will start working on it one day. But I'm sure there is one of you who will say that today is day 1 when I start thinking about the ABCD of trust on a serious manner. I will start looking at the various elements of relationships that we saw in the series. I will be the person who will start working upon the C, the H, the R, and the I, build the C, the H, the R, and the I, and keep on reducing the S. I think so that is how you become people who contribute to society, who are respected and regarded as leaders. Remember, it's never a position. There are so many people who are positioned, but no one respects them. So that's it from my side.